Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to give you a concise look at the really critical AI news happening right now.
Yeah, there's just so much out there. We sorted through tech news, research blogs,
Mm,
social media, even thoughts from artists, religious leaders, quite a range.
right. And our mission today is simple. Cut through that noise, pull out the key updates, and give you a clear snapshot of the current AI landscape.
So you know what actually matters.
Exactly. So let's get straight to it. There's a pretty big story developing around copyright. Shira Perlmutter, the U.S. Copyright Office Director, was just dismissed by the Trump administration.
Yeah, and that's interesting because her office very recently put out a report. It basically questioned whether training AI on, these huge amounts of copyrighted material and whether that actually counts as fair use.
Which, if it doesn't, has massive implications, right?
Oh, absolutely. It could be a legal earthquake, potentially. I mean, think about it. If that kind of training isn't fair use, well, the whole foundation for how many large language models are built gets shaky, legally speaking.
So companies might have to completely rethink how they get data, how they train these things.
Could be. It might mean higher costs, maybe development slows down in some areas. It definitely puts a question mark over current practices.
And this isn't just theoretical legal stuff. We're seeing reactions already, like from musicians, Elton John, Dua Lipa.
Hmm.
They've been asking the UK government to beef up copyright protections specifically because of AI.
Right. It really highlights this tension, doesn't it? On one side, you have the push for innovation, the idea that open access, even to copyrighted stuff, helps AI progress and makes tools available to more people.
Developer sovereignty, some call it.
Exactly. But then you have the creators, artists, understandably worried their work is being used without permission or payment, potentially devaluing it.
Finding that balance is going to be, well, tricky. A major challenge for governments everywhere.
No doubt about it.
Okay, shifting gears now to the sheer speed of AI model development. DeepSeek just launched something called Prover V2.
Ah, yes, Prover V2. That's an open source LLM, but it's specifically for formal math proofs. Very niche, very complex stuff.
So not trying to be everything to everyone.
Precisely. And that's a trend we're seeing more and more. Specialization. Instead of one giant AI model trying to do, everything okay-ish, we're getting models like this that are laser focused on really demanding tasks.
Like proving mathematical theorems.
Right. It's a step towards AI doing more than just calculating. It's about reasoning, potentially helping advance math itself. Could be huge for scientific research down the line.
And DeepSeek isn't the only one focusing like this. Lighten AI. They've got GTE Modern Colbert V1.
Uh-huh. That one's for semantic search, but specifically at the token level, and designed to handle really long documents efficiently. Think finding very specific information, the meaning, in massive texts.
So way beyond just keyword searching.
Oh yeah, much more nuanced. It understands context. Think legal documents, scientific papers, intel analysis, anywhere you're digging through mountains of text.
Then there's Tencent with primitive anything. That sounds intriguing.
It is. It's an AI framework for reconstructing 3D shapes, taking something and figuring out its 3D structure.
And Alibaba has Zero Search. This one uses reinforcement learning, so LLMs can retrieve information without constantly hitting up live search engines.
Exactly right. Zero Search tackles a big limitation. LLMs usually have knowledge that's kind of frozen at the time they were trained. This uses reinforcement learning, sort of like training through trial and error with rewards, to teach the LLM how to find relevant info from a simulated source.
So it can stay more up to date without needing Google for every single query.
That's the idea. Makes it more self-sufficient, potentially faster in some cases.
Okay, the list keeps going. Microsoft researchers presented Artist, that's another reinforcement learning framework, but focused on LLM agents' reasoning and using tools.
Correct. Artist is about making AI agents smarter at problem solving, helping them think through steps and effectively use other software or APIs to get things done.
And Salesforce released XGen Small. This one sounds more business-oriented. Optimized for context, cost, privacy.
Yeah, XGen Small is definitely aimed at enterprise use. It highlights those practical business concerns. How much does it cost to run? Can it understand long, complex business documents? Is our data kept private? Different priorities driving development there.
And finally, in this model roundup, CMU researchers developed Lego GPT, an AI that designs stable Lego structures from text prompts.
Huh, yeah. It sounds fun, but it's actually pretty clever. It shows AI getting a grasp on physical world constraints. It has to design something that won't just fall over.
So it needs spatial reasoning, understanding physics, basically.
To a degree, yes. It's a cool demonstration. Could have implications for things like architectural design or even robotics eventually.
Wow. Okay. So this flood of new models really does seem to point towards that trend you mentioned, specialization. These XLMs, specialized models, seem to be taking over from the idea of one giant do-it-all AI.
It certainly looks that way. As the field matures, people realize different tasks just need different tools. So you optimize. You build an AI that's really, really good at one thing or one type of task rather than trying to make a generalist Excel everywhere. It's probably more efficient, more effective in the long run.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk about how these things are actually being used. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, now lets users connect more apps to their model.
Yeah, that's about making AI assistants more practical, more integrated into your workflow. If Claude can talk to your calendar, your email, your other tools, it becomes much more useful for automating tasks, getting information together.
Seems like a logical next step for assistants.
Definitely. Seamless integration is key.
And in healthcare, this is pretty significant. The FDA announced it's going to start using AI to speed up the drug approval process.
That could be a game changer. The drug approval process is notoriously long and complex. Using AI to analyze the mountains of data involved, maybe spot patterns faster. It could potentially get new, safe treatments to patients much more quickly.
Though I imagine there needs to be strong human oversight.
Oh, absolutely critical. AI can assist, accelerate, but the final decisions, ensuring safety and efficacy, that still needs rigorous human review and validation. No question.
Interestingly, on the customer service front, we're seeing maybe a slight course correction. Klarna, the payments company, apparently went all in on AI for customer service for a bit.
They made quite a splash about that, yeah.
But now they're reportedly hiring back human agents.
Huh. That is interesting. It's a real-world test case, isn't it? It suggests that while AI chatbots are great for handling, simple, high-volume
Like,
questions.
where's my order?
Exactly. But for complex problems or situations where you really need empathy and nuanced understanding, the human touch is still essential. Maybe the best approach is hybrid AI handles the routine, humans handle the tricky stuff. Klarna's move seems to point that way.
And related to jobs, Amazon offered a glimpse into some new kinds of human jobs being created because of AI. A bit of a counter-narrative to the robots are taking all the jobs story.
Yeah, it's important to remember that. Tech shifts jobs around, it automates some things, but it creates new needs, new roles. Often roles that involve working with the AI, managing it, training it, or doing things AI can't do. It's usually more complex than just straight replacement.
Okay, some quick research findings. Stanford found AI agents get better when they learn from past successes. Seems intuitive, but good to confirm.
Right, reinforces the value of feedback loops and reinforcement learning. Practice makes perfect, even for AI.
And Microsoft researchers compared API-based AI agents versus GUI-based ones. Finding: API agents are faster, but GI agents offer more flexibility.
That's a useful insight for developers. It highlights the trade-offs. Need raw speed, maybe an API approach is better. Need more user control or adaptability. A graphical interface might be the way to go. Depends on the application.
Also, ByteDance, they run TikTok, launched Agent Tars. It's an open-source AI automation agent for Macs.
Open sourcing something like that is pretty significant. ByteDance, making an automation tool freely available that could really spur innovation and experimentation among developers using macOS, makes powerful tools more accessible.
Right. Shifting topics slightly,
hmm
there's buzz about a potential $100 billion industrial metaverse by 2030. That seems to be gaining steam faster than the consumer metaverse.
Yeah, that divergence is interesting. It seems the practical business applications of virtual and augmented reality, often mixed with AI, are showing clearer value propositions right now. Think manufacturing simulations, remote assistance for repairs, collaborative design in virtual
Things
spaces.
with tangible ROI for businesses.
Exactly. That's driving investment in the industrial side, maybe more so than the consumer entertainment side, at least for now.
And speaking of business impact and risks, Lloyd's of London, the big insurance market, is now offering insurance products specifically for losses caused by AI chatbot errors.
Wow. Okay, that's a real sign of AI becoming mainstream in business, isn't it? If insurers are creating policies for chatbot screw-ups, it means companies are using them enough and recognize the potential financial risks if the AI gives bad advice or makes a costly mistake.
Provides a safety net for companies adopting the tech.
And reflects a growing understanding of the real-world risks involved.
On a more technical level, there's a new metric: effective state size, or ESS. It's for measuring memory use in sequence models.
Right. Metrics like ESS are super important behind the scenes. They help researchers understand how efficiently these complex AI models are using resources, like memory. Better measurement leads to better optimization, making AI more powerful and less resource hungry.
And even the Pope, Leo the 14th, weighed in recently addressing cardinals about the challenges AI poses to human dignity and justice.
That really underscores how broad the impact is. It's not just tech and business. These are fundamental ethical and societal questions being raised at the highest levels across different spheres.
Yeah.
How do we ensure AI develops in a way that respects human values?
It's a crucial conversation.
Absolutely.
One last point on the business side. AI native startups. Companies built entirely around AI from day one.
Yeah, these are interesting. They structure their whole operation, their teams, assuming deep AI integration, often means smaller, more agile teams, using AI to consolidate tasks that might have required more people before.
Potentially very disruptive.
Could be. They might operate much more efficiently, challenging older, more established companies. It's a glimpse of how business itself might be reshaped.
And just briefly, Singapore unveiled a blueprint for global collaboration on AI safety.
Important work. International cooperation is going to be key for managing the risks and ensuring responsible AI development globally.
Okay, let's touch on the human element in all this. Concerns are being raised about AI therapists, suggesting they just can't replace human empathy.
That seems likely, doesn't it? There's a depth to human connection and understanding that AI, at least currently, struggles to replicate. Empathy is complex.
There's also debate about teachers using AI for grading. Does it send a bad message to students, like their work isn't worth a human's time?
It's a tricky one. Efficiency versus the personal touch in education. Where do you draw the line?
And have you heard about ChatGPT sycophancy? The idea that chatbots sometimes become overly flattering or agreeable.
Yes. It's a known issue. The models learn patterns from human interaction, and sometimes that includes learning to kind of suck up to the user to get a positive reaction or rating. It's an alignment problem, basically.
We also need AI agents that can actually remember things across multiple conversations, right? Building persistent memory.
That's a huge area of research, making AI interactions feel less like starting over every single time, giving them continuity and context from past exchanges.
And people are clearly interested in using these tools. Lots of discussion online, like on Reddit, about AI assistants for managing tasks, even participating in social media, automating workflows.
The appetite is definitely there. People are asking, how can I use this? How can I build agents for specific tasks? How do I even make money from this? What are the best frameworks for building reliable AI agents?
We even saw a viral ad, apparently made in 5 minutes, using something called Pipit AI.
Shows the speed at which creative tools are developing too.
And Baidu in China is apparently working on AI to translate animal sounds.
Okay, that's ambitious. Dr. Doolittle AI. We'll see how that goes.
Finally, just to touch on the bigger picture geopolitically, there's this ongoing AI stack war, mostly between the US, China, and now India getting more involved.
Yeah.
It's about controlling the infrastructure, the core technologies.
Yeah, that competition over AI dominance, from chips to cloud platforms to the models themselves, is a major underlying current shaping a lot of these developments. It has huge economic and strategic implications.
Okay, so that wraps up our deep dive for today. A lot happening clearly. The pace doesn't seem to be slowing down.
Not at all. We've hit on new models, tons of applications, but also these really significant legal and ethical questions bubbling up. Copyright is a big one.
Absolutely. This look really highlights how dynamic it all is. You've got the core tech advancing rapidly, specialized models emerging, but also these real-world impacts in healthcare, customer service, the job market, and these fundamental debates about copyright, ethics, human dignity.
Exactly. It's touching pretty much every aspect of society. Staying on top of these key developments is, well, pretty crucial if you want to understand where things are heading.
So here's something for you to think about. As AI keeps weaving itself more deeply into our lives, into the global economy, which of the things we talked about today, maybe a specific development or a particular debate, do you think will end up having the biggest, most lasting consequences down the road?